Yesterday, I was listening to this video from the Black Ryan Seacrest, and he was talking about the situation, and he was talking about how the real victims of this whole thing were the men who unwittingly slept with Sister Hong, but then Sister Hong uploaded their pictures and their videos to the internet. And they were really adamant in his comment section that the real victims were these men. Of these almost 1,700 men, some of them were married, some were engaged, some could have been single. Yes, given that. But all of them, every last one of them, thought Sister Hong was a married woman. So none of these people were completely innocent. But regardless of that, these men knowingly put their uncovered peen into a human being that they didn't really know. And so then those men allowed themselves, they took themselves to this situation. They brought themselves to this situation. And yes, it is terrible that Sister Hong uploaded those videos. And the Black Ryan Seacrest and the people in his comment section are like, I cannot believe that people are not really going hard for these victims, the male victims. But the thing is, it's like they have a real sense of empathy. They really give these men some grace. Like this person, Cooper Streaming says, I don't know how people don't get this, like co-signing the Black Ryan Seacrest. I don't know how people don't get this. Yes, cheating is awful. Yes, putting your partner at risk for STDs they didn't consent to risk is awful. Revenge porn is evil. Sister Hong is evil. So yes, if these men had wives and girlfriends and fiancés at home, they are literally evil. Yes, they were a victim of revenge porn, but they took themselves to that situation. The women that are at home had no idea that they were sitting up here putting their willy into the Wonka that it didn't belong in. They didn't know. So the real victims to me are the women. Now, in no parts of any of this situation, Sister Hong nor the men that decided to go over there and do these relational things, they were all men. There are no women in this situation. So in the comment section, they were talking about feminists, and I'm sitting up here reading like, what did feminists have to do with it? Women don't get nearly as much grace as men, and it'll be women actual victims. It'll be women victims that are just literally living, and women don't get nearly as much grace and empathy at all. Women get victim blamed, and so many of these people want to act like these men didn't do anything at all. When they picked themselves up, they walked over to Sister Hong, they dangled a fish in a bag or a half a bag of rice, and then they got to screw Sister Hong. Now I'm going to juxtapose what I just talked about as far as the dudes that got uploaded to the website to this woman that I was also talking about yesterday. So this woman says, I met this guy, we exchanged numbers, and about 5 minutes into him having my number, he immediately started sending videos and pictures of him playing with himself. I have talked to a few girlfriends that said they experienced that as well. I've been out of the dating game for a while. Is this the new culture? If so, I'm cool. So this woman gave a man her number, and he immediately started sending D pics, D videos. She didn't do anything to that. And so she didn't take herself to that situation. She wasn't asking for it. These were unsolicited. And there were men in her comment section blaming her for the situation. It's like the common denominator of the people that are perps are men. And like right now, men, hold on. This man, Sir Porter, says, listen to this. First of all, Buddy is out of line. That was completely uncalled for. But, and I say this with all due respect, there was either something really wrong with him, or there is something about you and how you present that made him feel comfortable sending it. Needless to say, be safe out here. There's nothing in these streets. So he literally said, there's something about you. You asked for it in some kind of way. And this man, at first he was like, Buddy is out of line. If he would have stopped there, it just like, but then he said, with all due respect, and he said, but. And then he needed to victim blame her for whatever reason. And I'm just doing this because I literally see women that are supposed to take accountability for men's behaviors in some kind of way. In some kind of way, women are blamed for men's behaviors. This one was egregious to me. He started it off okay, but then the woman who posted this said this. Y'all say we don't want to give men a chance, and when we do, you guys treat us like this. To provide context, I was traveling for work. I had a t-shirt and jeans on. He held the door open for me as I walked out the store. We both went to our cars at the same time. He complimented me on my perfume and my hair. I laughed. I could tell he just got off work because he had work clothes on and was driving a truck. He asked if he could take me to dinner. We exchanged numbers, and then about 2 minutes later, he asked if I had plans later. I said I was running to Max because maybe TJ Maxx, because TSA broke my suitcase and I needed a new one. He said, cool, when you're free, let me know. We can grab food. 5 minutes later, I received 20 videos and photos, all of him naked or playing with his stuff. She didn't need to come back in and provide context. But the thing is, the men in her comment section, and I did several yesterday, the men in her comment section, they're like, she probably was dressed lustily. She probably didn't have on any clothes. They assumed the worst about her. And regardless, she did not solicit pictures, but they always want to blame women. Now, if men are the victims, it's like we got to have empathy and grace. But if women are the victims of anything, it's still, what was she wearing? And that's the reason why when this woman, this 20-year-old, started taking watches, people did not have very much sympathy for the men, because women are always victim blamed. So they were like, what was he wearing? Why was he wearing this watch? Why was he sitting up here acting all drippy? Did he say no? They did that on purpose to prove a point, and the point was proven because women get tired of being victim blamed just for existing. And so that's the reason why men don't get nearly as much sympathy, because women victims don't get any sympathy. People were like high-fiving her, talking about women in men fields, talking about, does she have a GoFundMe? Can we put some money on her books? Because these men, until like male victims, are going to get the exact same amount of empathy or grace, maybe even less, because they don't give us any empathy or grace. Espressivo Tammy says, really angers me, talking about that man, Sir Porter, that was like, what were you wearing? There was something about you that presented like you wanted these D pics or whatever. So Espressivo Tammy says, really angers me for one big reason, that you are blaming the woman for his action. My dating profiles, recently deleted all, had no revealing pictures, only classy and elegant. Even has some friends who were guys make sure none of mine could possibly be taken that way. Every single time, right out the gate, hey sexy, along with his private parts. So nope, I won't be blamed for a man's disrespectful and disgusting behavior. What the hell? And then Alex, the woman, says, thank you, sister. I had a t-shirt and jeans on when he met me. LOL. He held the door open and was nice and complimented my perfume. I don't know what I could have done to deserve corn being sent to my phone. You didn't do anything. This is a them thing. And this is the reason why, like, they can't get it. They can see other men maybe as victims, maybe, but the thing is, they don't see women as victims. Even the men that say that was wrong, like, oh man, but what did you do? That really irritates me. And that's the reason why we're going to continue to act like that woman was an icon when she got them men for their watches. Anyways, I know that this was a whole big mishmash of things, but it was on my mind how male victims are treated versus how female victims are treated. And I needed to have that discussion. Obviously, I'm in my car. That's why you heard that dinging. Let me know what you think about all of this put together. I know it's a big mishmash. Join the conversation, like, comment, and share.